Many of the people that I interviewed for these videos, I would ask them ahead of time, so are there things that you'd like to talk about, things that are in your wheelhouse, if you will, that you feel like you've really got something to offer? And one of the, I don't know, maybe the most unique answer that I've gotten was from my friend John Barcanic, who said that he wanted to talk about how worship is the pizza crust. And I'm like, okay. So he started in, so I'm just going to let John talk to you.
So typically we think of the church ministries as maybe like a pie and pieces of the pie. Or, so I'm from Chicago, the home of deep dish pizza, so we'll use pizza. So, we've got our different pieces of pizza, and we can divide up the church in different ways. We might say, we might divide it functionally. So we've got worship ministry, and we've got outreach and missions and discipleship and fellowship. Or we might divide it by life stage, and so we've got kids and then youth and college and all the way up. However we divide our pizza, we tend to see it as kind of slices of pizza, some bigger, some smaller, some have sausage, pepperoni, whatever, but that's how we think of it. In reality, I think it's much more complicated than that, but if we try to keep it simple, in reality, I don't think worship is a piece of the pizza. I think worship is the crust. So you might like super thin cracker crust pizza or, Chicago deep dish or New York style, but I don't know anybody who likes crustless pizza. In fact, I don't know how you would cook crustless pizza, because you would just put your tomato sauce on the pan and then put cheese and toppings and everything would burn. So the worship ministry forms the foundation, but also it's part of all of the other ministries, because worship is at the center of what we do. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And that comes from a heart that's full of worship. Warren Wiersbe says worship is, us responding with all that we are, mind, body, will, and emotions to all that God is and says and does. And it's in that response that we're offering love to God, and it can happen a lot of different ways. But I think ideally the worship ministry feeds all of those other ministries, because it's that core piece of my relationship with God and how I respond to Him. There's a critical role that congregational worship, especially through music, plays in that, but it's not limited to that. And when we see it as just kind of one other piece of the pizza, I think that we do ourselves a disservice, because we don't see the influence that it can have in really helping people as they follow Christ in each of these different ways.
When we recognize that what we're doing as worship leaders is not just another piece of the pizza, as John said, but it's affecting every other piece, then that's going to change how we think about what we're doing. Certainly it should cause us to take what we do more seriously, but at the same time, it really should cause us to think through how what we're doing is affecting those other areas, those other aspects of the church, and what that could mean, maybe more importantly, how it is affecting, how it could be affecting. What should I be doing that will positively influence and affect this section over here? What changes should I consider that might make a difference in this aspect of our church life together? Those kind of things. See, I can't tell you exactly what this means for you, because everybody's context is going to be a little bit different. But I can say that if we really think of it in those terms, as opposed to just, we're this piece over here, and then the youth is this piece, and missions is this piece. No, if we think about worship as the crust underneath everything, then it's going to affect how we think about what we're doing, including song selection, how we address people. I mean, all of those various aspects. And so here's my challenge. I want you to really think about this. What should it mean in your context if you consider that idea that what you're doing really is impacting every area, every aspect of the church. What should it mean about this area? What should it mean about that area over there? What should it mean about this piece of the pizza in John's terminology? Those kind of things. Consider that and see how that might affect how you do things in the future.
Brought to you by myworshipleadingcoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.